Thanks for joining us. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Wanted to join you now and update you on a new warning that we have here in central Illinois. This is now a tornado warning for parts of McLean County here. This warning going to go until 5:15 p.m. because of the tornado warning. In part of our viewing area, we'll be interrupting coverage here until the danger is over. With this, we will continue to watch and keep a close eye on this. McLean County, of course, a small sliver of it, not for everyone right here. This is going to be for the northern part of McLean County, close to Highway 24, including Gridley and Chenoa, areas from Lexington to the north. And that's what we're going to watch here. We've had some of these storms come and go and bring some chances for some severe weather, and now finally getting our first warning in our viewing area here right now. Also in studio, forecaster Seth Bohnhoff. He's here as well, keeping an eye on things and getting things posted as well. We'll continue to watch this. And Seth, if you want, I'll have you talk a little bit about what you're seeing over there at the quad in a minute. We just want to talk about who is in and who is out here first place. This is going to be Highway 24 right here. There's Interstate 55. Interstate 55, you go north there towards Pontiac, to the south then towards Bloomington Normal. From the Lexington exit to the Chenoa exit, no travel advised at I-55. Also US 24, no travel advised there in northern McLean County. Gridley, Meadows, Chenoa. Bloomington Normal sits down here. Pontiac is up there. Off to the east, then into Livingston County, you take 24 east, you head towards Fairbury and Forest. No warning for Livingston County. It's just a small section of northern McLean County. And if we take a look here at the area for it, it doesn't even include any of the Bloomington Normal areas. So we'll show you McLean County in general here. Big picture. If you're watching us in Bloomington Normal or down in Hayworth, Leroy, Colfax, Aerosmith, Saybrook, off towards Moraine View State Park, down towards McLean. Those areas not impacted by this warning. That tornado warning, they're just for a small section of northern McLean County here until 5:15, which is why we are continuing to watch this. So we're going to monitor this storm very closely. Let's show you a little bit about that rotation and take a peek at what we see. And you'll notice here that it's a very small little area. And we'll continue to monitor that as I zoom in. And Seth, you can agree with me here. Just a small little circulation now, about halfway between Gridley and Meadows, and that should find itself about a mile or two south of US 24. And the reason for this tornado warning, you'll see here earlier, a few minutes ago, when that warning started, they started discussing whether or not they'd issue a warning. You can see that little circulation that's there moving off to the east. A short warning, a small area, as we aren't seeing storms today that are the type that will continue for long distances and cause lots of damage. More so, they tend to pulse up and pulse down and continue to do so. Seth, I think, is my mic still working in your ear?
I can still hear you. I believe it's working.
Okay. It just felt like it got a little quiet on me all of a sudden. And so I just wanted to make sure that we were working just fine in that. Let's go ahead and pull the graphics full if we can, and just do that here on my Max 2. There's that circulation. There's that little section near Gridley that we'll continue to watch and keep an eye on. And so that's something we're going to monitor. Seth, why don't you talk a little bit more about it here for a second while I get another update here from the National Weather Service.
Absolutely. Let me get my graphic pulled up here. Got the closest camera I could find out here in Bloomington if we want to get things switched over to Max 1 here just to get things. There we go. Yep. That's the closest view we have to this particular storm right now. We'll get a look again, take a little zoom in there. This has been the part of the area that has really been the source of activity for today, just that northeast part of McLean County. I know we had a sliver of a tornado warning there in the northwest part of the county at one point earlier here this afternoon. Now, of course, we're dealing with this one. And we kind of just noticed a little bit of that rotation there. Jacob, we talked about just kind of seeing that there about 20 or 30 minutes ago, wondered if there was going to be something to come out of this. And surely enough, we do have obviously another warning out there as of right now. And we can see, yeah, as we look here for the past couple hours here, we did have plenty of stuff roll through east of Peoria there. And again, we did have that one part catch the northwest part of McLean County, and now, of course, we are dealing with that other one right now. I've seen plenty of big hail. I believe it was golf ball sized hail at one point was the biggest that we noticed.
Yeah, there was a 2-inch hail, 2-inch hail over by Washington. They had quite a bit of damage over there from wind-driven hail, and then they got a lot of rain there as well.
I do believe there either is or was a flash flood warning out there east of Peoria. I believe that's still going on right now. As you can see, a lot of stuff just starting to stall out their direction. And of course, we are in that severe thunderstorm watch still until 9 p.m. tonight. So of course, we do have some activity now, and we do expect some to continue on here later on into this evening. Looking like we're going to get another round, start to catch some widespread parts of the area around 6 or 7 o'clock there. So around that beginning of the evening time hours. And of course, this is what we're looking at right now, that one tornado warning. If I get things back to, yep, right there, north of Lexington, south of Chenoa, as we mentioned. That is what we're looking at here right now. Let me see if I can get in there a little more than what I'm at right now, just to get some details there as fine-tuning the locations.
Yeah, I just want to mention while you're talking about that, a little further to the east, the storm near Chatsworth has my interest also, just north of 24, the east of Forest. That might be something we got to watch for northern Ford, eastern Livingston County, east of 47, along and north of 24. So we're going to watch Chatsworth area and Piper City up to Pella Township, northern Ford County. I'm sorry, the Pella community up there. There's Pella Township, the south part of the county. And that's going to be between Stell and Piper City, maybe in that general direction. No indication of any imminent, well, actually, we just got a report from a spotter there of a rapidly rotating wall cloud in that storm. And that doesn't surprise me all that much here. And so that's something that we're going to watch. If I can keep your graphics up, I think it's yours on air. I'm going to get my Apple TV here ready in a second. But we're going to watch Livingston, Ford, Iroquois County. First heads up, Chatsworth, Piper City, Stell. This should be south of Colum, it'll be south of Kempton, south of Cabery. But then into Iroquois County, we'll have to watch for folks from the Gilman and Narga areas up north towards Ashcombe, including Danforth. And that's something we'll have to keep a close eye on here, Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on that, still keep an eye on that one right there in McLean County here at the moment. But you're right, this is starting to look a little bit like a situation that we might have to keep our eyes open there just in case any warnings pop out. Of course, that rotating wall cloud of obviously something to keep track of, and those spotters are really helping us out here as far as getting ahead of some of these storms here.
You want to just toss it back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I was going to say, I was waiting for you if you wanted to.
Sure, yeah, no. You can just do some hand signals around here, and that's how we'll play things, right? While we're covering this storm here. Again, big area picture. Folks in Champaign-Urbana, Decatur, and Springfield, we've got no warnings on the board. Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, nothing there. There is that severe thunderstorm watch that's in place, and you can see that severe thunderstorm watch includes a lot of counties in central Illinois. Along the Indiana state line, no watch, and then Macoupin County is out, but everyone else is in here. That's going to include Champaign-Urbana, Mattoon, Charleston, and Effingham, down towards Decatur, Springfield, Taylorville, Shelbyville, and then up towards Bloomington-Normal, including Livingston and Ford County. Now, they went with a severe thunderstorm watch as opposed to a tornado watch here. Almost a marginal type environment today for these storms, where we're not getting big time supercells or any sort of significant severe weather, but they still mention that the possibility is there for a couple of tornadoes within this watch. We've had a couple of tornado reports earlier today up in Mercer County, south of the Quad Cities. Brief. Lasted for a few minutes, went on through. Thankfully, haven't heard any damage there. And then, of course, we've had some of that hail. The Peoria area got hit pretty hard earlier, specifically east there on 24 towards Washington and Eureka. And that's with that complex of storms that's been sneaking our way here. And so we will continue to watch and keep a close eye on that. Let's zoom in here real quick. And then in a moment, I'm going to head to the key here in the back. This is the area that we're really watching at this point, Livingston, McLean County. I've got the tornado warning in McLean County until 5:15. We're watching that cell near Chatsworth. No tornado warning yet, but from what I can see, there is at least some rotation there, and there's ground observations where spotters saying they're seeing a wall cloud, they're seeing some rotation. The National Weather Service toying back and forth with the idea that maybe they need to upgrade to a tornado warning, maybe they don't. They're looking at it and analyzing it, and if they pull one, then you'll see that alert immediately pop on up. So we've got that, and then other cells too. Want to mention another report here in the Bloomington-Normal area, and Seth, I know you've got that camera up on the Max 1. We might be able to double box that camera a little bit too. This cell here, west of Bloomington, earlier spotters had reported that they had seen towards the, let me just read this here real quick. They had indicated that in the Gridley and Chenoa and Lexington areas, not much to report at this point, but there was a picture near Hopedale, west of Bloomington. Hopedale's out here. That's part of the Olympia School District out there. This general cell, they had a view of it, which was a little interesting looking, which is why they were continuing to watch that. And so that's the cell of interest also that we'll continue to watch. These cells are really small. They're very condensed in the fact that, if we're talking some significant severe weather and big time storms, we'd have some broad circulations and some big storms showing up. They're just little bitty cells, little kidney beans on radar, but we're close enough to that area of low pressure where we're able to tap into some of that shear and tap into some of that energy and get these sometimes weakly spinning storms that we're seeing. But still, for the storm here in northern McLean County, the call is for now, head to your shelters, including Chenoa at this point, areas north of the Lexington exit on I-55. We'll give the all clear to Gridley. We'll give all clear, of course, to El Paso, well west of that. We're going to watch downstream, and then, of course, we continue to keep our eyes on that cell over towards Chatsworth. Let's go ahead and bring the graphics full real fast here. This is that severe thunderstorm watch in the area. You've been seeing that scrolling on the bottom of your screen and keeping an eye on it. We'll see that as well and getting all those other alerts on the bottom of your screen. But we continue here to watch and see what kind of in production, we can get that key up for me. We'll continue to see what kind of situation we've got going here across the region and continue to monitor. I'm going to switch now to a program called Radar Scope. And Radar Scope, overall, pretty good way to view these storms here in central Illinois. If I can get my key production, that'd be great. We see that massive storms from Bloomington towards Chenoa, and then off to the north and east towards the Chatsworth area. That's where we're primarily watching at this point, and we'll continue to monitor things here. We want to mention that storm near Chatsworth. There's no warning on it. See that little kidney bean shape? And I can't tell production. Am I on the green screen here? I can't see on my TV what's going on. Okay, we're getting that in the back. I appreciate that. So we're going to watch and keep a close eye here and monitor things for a little bit longer. But I do want to just make sure we maybe have that bottom TV also set on there, and we'll switch it to that one. Okay, so updates from the National Weather Service. They're saying they're still watching near Towanda, Lexington, north of there, looking north in that storm in McLean County. We are also keeping a close eye on this storm near Chatsworth, and so we're going to keep an eye here. And there we go. Perfect. This storm near Chatsworth. There's Chatsworth. There's US 24. Here's Illinois 47. Forest is here. You go north up towards Sonneman. There's the four-way stop and the gas station up there. Cullum is right here. They've got a Casey's in town. That's about it. Down here, Piper City. There's the highway that takes you north up towards Caberry and Kempton. There's Kempton right there. There's Stell. Kind of watching in this area of northern Ford County. Just can't rule anything out. You drop this down to the south, there's Piper City. That road takes you south towards the Purduville area. Head on east then, Gilman, Danforth, Ashcombe. We'll be watching downstream to see if anything can't pick up there. And when I show you here, this is that circulation that we're watching. So now these individual red dots are spotters that are in that area. And so far, I've not had an indication from the National Weather Service that there's been a tornado warning. We'll continue to watch and see if that pans out or not. But we've had some reports of some rotation in there close to the ground. NWS, they're looking at a lot of different data, and they may say, hey, we're holding off on a second. We want to see if things strengthen and to see how it goes. And the other thing might be also with that particular storm is their radar as well. Now, I'm looking now towards the National Weather Service radar up in Chicago. That's up in Romeoville, up by Lockport and north of Joliet. That's a bit further away. The other view we've got is from Lincoln. So we are in an area that maybe the radar beam's not looking too close to the ground either. So they're analyzing and updating things, but we're just going to get a heads up here for Chatsworth, off to the east, Piper City, areas south of Cullum, and then eventually at western Iroquois County, Ashcombe, Danforth, Gilman, and along I-57. Keeping an eye here. Do want to mention, though, storms moving fairly slow at this point. Only moving at 15 or so miles an hour. But still, in the last little bit here, just barely moving here to the east and a little bit north. Might be a little bit hail in there as well. Still, though, we're watching this here. This is that tornado warning Polygon. Lexington, it's to your north, not by much. Chenoa, there you are. Gridley sits right here. There's Fairbury. This here is the McLean-Livingston County line. So we're in the northern and northeastern parts of McLean County, and as I pull up that velocity here, it looks like the circulation, or what's left of it, near Chenoa. And so that's something that we're going to keep an eye on here. I know we've got a spotter that's out there here. My dad's in that general area, and I'm going to check in with him in a minute, Seth, but I'll give you a chance to jump on in to tell us more what you're seeing as we continue to watch. I'm also going to jump to the Lincoln radar real quick just to analyze that. And there's that leftover little circulation right over Chinoa. We'll continue to watch here. So Seth, that's something that we're keeping a close eye on. This tornado warning goes until 5:15. It's 4:59 right now. And where that is, Seth, they may very well think about dropping it early or just letting it ride out here. What are you seeing, Seth?
Good potential. Yeah, I did notice some of that rotation. I've noticed here in the NWS chat, parts of people are saying that there was some rotation with it. Looks like it's gone back up, kind of rain wrapped right now, so hard to tell in a few places. I do want to mention, though, that cell we're monitoring north of Chatsworth, they have reported a little bit of weak rotation and a potential for some small hail with that one. So it looks like things are ramping up a little bit with that one that we were keeping an eye out over there in Livingston County as well. As, of course, keeping an eye on that one there towards...
You know, they just dropped it.
And it looks like it just disappeared off my screen. So it looks like we no longer have that tornado warning there. But, of course, now just keeping an eye on that one in Livingston County north of Chatsworth, again, as they reported a little bit of weak rotation. Let me see if I can get my velocity to pull up here just to take a look at that. And we definitely do see some there. Hopefully we can get a few updates. But, of course, yes, that tornado warning did just cancel early here. Of course, a pretty strong storm in its own, even without a tornado warning on it anymore. So, of course, if you're still in that direction, you can see some winds, of course, some heavy rain associated with all these. Can't rule out some hail going on as well. But right now, it doesn't look like any active warnings in the area at the moment.
Yeah, that's about what they're saying right now. So just for production in the back, we just cut in for a little bit here. We're going to get back to our 5 o'clock regular programming in just a minute or two. And so production, maybe we'll shoot for about 5:02. We can go back to that here, and we'll wrap up our TV coverage, get you back to regular programming at 5:02. But we'll stay with here for a last little second and keep an eye on things. So again, area-wide now, that one tornado warning for McLean County is dropped. We will watch very, very closely the storm that's near the Chatsworth area. Other things to mention, the severe thunderstorm watch does continue. We've got that flash flood warning that's west of our area from Peoria along the US 24 corridor. These storms have been raining pretty good for a little bit here. That's certainly something that we'll continue to monitor if we can't see a little bit of flooding. You see all the flooding and tornado and hail reports, though, all up in northwestern Illinois at this point, where those have been funnel clouds and whatnot. No immediate reports in our area, but they're still watching that storm near the Chatsworth area. And they're saying that maybe it can get a little hail towards the east as it moves towards Gilman and Danforth. So what we'll do here in about 30 seconds, we'll toss our TV coverage back to regular programming. Production, though, we will stay on digital platforms. You can jump on Facebook right now, pull up the app on your phone, and keep an eye there. And if there's a new tornado warning, we'll jump right back to television here in just a bit. Last little check here. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We've got forecaster Seth Bohnhoff here as well. We had that earlier tornado warning that was canceled early. We thought that might happen for McLean County. Now we're just watching a couple of these storms here. We are going to keep you updated, and join us on our digital platforms. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. All right, cool. We're back here for digital platforms. We're just going to watch things here for a little bit and keep an eye on this situation with us. So we will stay here. Our TV coverage has ended. If there's another tornado warning, we will jump back and keep an eye on it here. So we got the audio back. We just had to make sure everything was turned off and take it away. So production will probably just kind of slowly ride this thing for a little bit, make sure that Chatsworth storm doesn't get out of hand, and watch some of those other cells. While we're doing that, Seth, I don't know if you want to, you got a show in about an hour from now, so we'll kind of have you focus on that. I can handle the digital side of things. We'll just kind of be here more than anything on a Saturday afternoon. Busy Saturday afternoon across lots of Central Illinois. That is for sure here. Let's take you through some of our cameras and show you what's going on out there. First off, this is going to be this camera. I believe it's going to be the Gibson City camera. It's kind of looking off to the north and west there. And if production, you don't mind being able to switch me on program, you can just switch between Max 2 and camera 1. I'd like to get Max 2 full now. And we'll just kind of do some full screen graphics for a little bit of while across the region. So there's that Gibson City camera. That looks to the north and west. I know in Gibson City there's a big concert. The Rangers are in town. It's a big tribute band. I believe it's ZZ Top. Folks, we're keeping an eye on it. These storms coming on in. I do have some concerns for that concert. A lot of other things going on. It's move-in weekend here in Champaign-Urbana. If you're not from Champaign-Urbana, you're smart enough to stay away this weekend. Traffic is just horrendous with everyone being in town. And so certainly folks in the area here, it took a little longer to get to the station, Seth, didn't it? Yeah, it sure did. There's a look at Pontiac here. Right now, a lot of rain in that area. We've got no warning in Livingston County. The storm of interest is over towards Chatsworth. And we'll continue to see if we don't get any reports from there. Last report was a rotating wall cloud in that area, slowly moving to the east on that general direction, Gilman, Danforth, Ashcombe, Onarga. We'll watch those areas and see what happens. Again, no warning at this point. The only warning we had for our immediate area included northern McLean County. It was, I think, 2 square miles of McLean County before that. Just the sliver there south of Goodfield where they just left it in. And we did not cut in for that as there weren't any towns in our area. Generally, when storms are along and east of I-55. Hey, production in the back, did my mic just go down a little bit?
I get stopped there.
Did you hear that go?
Now you're back. Now I think I can.
Okay, now I'm back. Yep. It just sounded like for a second my audio in my ear just dropped down. Did you hear that?
That's the exact same time. Yep. When you kind of hesitated, I just instantly stopped.
Yeah, I was like, what was that? So that's okay. I just want to make sure that my mic's still working because folks at home don't know I got hearing aid. I can't hear nothing. Right. Okay, so there's Pontiac. We want to take you to Bloomington. Bloomington right now. That's a look there. We've been watching that camera as well, and there's been some heavy rain in the neighborhood there. Some of the rainfall reports from that cell. Now, this batch of storms sat over there. It dropped again. Can you guys in the back? Are you guys messing with the mics back there? Are you? I've got folks online saying that it's been going up and down too. Am I having a mic issue here? Is there a signal? Do we need to get a new mic, perhaps? Let's see if we. We'll see what happens. Just back production. Maybe you can get me a new mic. I think it's going in and out. It's a Saturday. It doesn't want to work either. Right? Very true. Yeah, very true. Oh, okay. So we need to not mess with the master then, right? Because let's get it to where it needs to be, and we can hold it in place for that. Because I just want to make sure everyone's hearing us online for that. So Bloomington, there's the look there. We want to pop down to Champaign-Urbana. And in Champaign-Urbana, we've got a view here for a second. Still sunshine in town. It's been a nice day out there from all we can see, right, Seth? We're hanging out here, but certainly the storms to watch are to the north as of now. I think they're going to fill in. I think we're going to have storms come on in. It'll take its time, though. These storms not moving all that quickly here as they continue off to the south and to the east. And so we'll continue to watch and keep a close eye on that. This is a look now in Danville. You can see off to the west, well off into the distance, where those higher clouds are, that gray color on the right side of the screen, that's looking towards the west, and that's some of those storms that are way over towards Bloomington Normal and even further west of that from the view. And then, of course, the last check at Gibson City before we hit radar, there's that dark sky to the north. I know the concert's in town with something that we'll have to keep an eye on at this point. I'm a little concerned with storms coming on in towards the region. Let's jump back to radar here and keep an eye on things. And you'll see that overall, a lot of central Illinois in the clear. The storms of interest at this point are along the US 24 corridor. And this storm right here near Chatsworth still has my interest. And if you want to just pop me back on camera here, You see this hook shape? It almost hooks around right here. There's Chatsworth. There's Piper City. Here's Gilman, Onaraga, Danforth, Ashcombe. Kempton is up here. Caberry is up there. Stells is kind of out here. It's moving east, maybe a little north. I think it'll stay along the north of US 24, and it may make a run towards the Ashcombe area, but it is slow moving. If this storm were to strengthen, I would expect it to move more to the east. If we see it lift more to the north, to me, that'll be a sign that it's weakening. We'll just have to watch closely here, and I'll show you some of the weak rotation that we continue to watch here. Maybe not as pronounced from the Chicago area radar that scans down here. Right in northeast of Chatsworth towards the county line. We'll pop up to the Lincoln one, and it probably looks similar, just invert the colors based on the direction things are going. There's a lot of reds there, a little bit of light shades of pink, and a few pixels of green sneaking on in there. But overall, I don't, earlier to me, Seth, and you can agree or disagree, I kind of think it looked a little better. It
did look better out even 5 minutes ago when we were still there live on the air. It looked a lot better.
Right there. So it kind of lifting to the north. And when you get those north lifts and storms, they turn to the left. Usually is a sign that maybe the rotation isn't rooting itself into the boundary. We'll see storms move east and maybe take a little bit of a right turn to the southeast. And that's a storm that strengthens in this type of scenario. You think back a couple of weeks ago when we had Colfax get hit hard. Our storm was moving pretty solidly east-southeast. Took a hard right turn to the south and dove south towards Saybrook and Gibson City before it weakened and went away. This storm to me seems to be lifted more to the north. I won't say that it's done. Sometimes they'll cycle, come and go, hit and kind of pulse up and down. And maybe this storm is just doing that, but in the immediate 5 minutes or so, I'm not too concerned of the idea of any sort of rotation in there at this point. So we will watch and see very closely here what's going on. Home view, we're going to watch all these little weekly spinning showers. I think that's the way to describe it at this point. Thunder showers. And I'll pull the radar full screen real quick just to peek at it. You'll see that storms primarily are north of the Sangamon River. They're up towards I-55 and US 24 in our area. If you're along Interstate 72, along Interstate 70, 57 south of Champaign, 55 south of Springfield, we got no storms at this point. It will take time to do so. I'm just going to pull up one of our weather models to see how it's doing here. That one's a little off. I'm going to find the other one and get a peek at it, and maybe we'll be able to. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe we were kind of looking, Seth, and I think this particular guidance was pretty close here. Now, radar doesn't show any storms from Taylorville south to Effingham, so we can pretend that's not actually there. But overall, the placement in some of these little spot cells north of I-72, a pretty good job overall. Now, I'll say this, we'll watch down towards I-70. I can't rule something firing up, but we'll see. More than likely, it is interesting to see how the progression here, 7, 8 o'clock, sees that east and southeastward movement. So it may be a few hours, Champaign-Urbana, before we get these storms to come on through. I think by probably 10, 11, we should be done with this severe threat. We'll watch just in case, and then we're well clear by midnight into the morning tomorrow. But tomorrow, Seth, I think you got in the forecast some spot showers probably?
Spot showers. Looks like a little bit out of the northeast there as that tries to get on out of the way. Just a few, not very widespread by any means, but might just catch a couple there later on in the afternoon there. So.
Yeah, today seemed to be the day we talked about was going to be the stormiest of the two. We had some concerns for a while because I thought, for a while that low pressure was going to check in and have a nice vacation here and then take a late checkout and try and leave on Tuesday.
For a while we had some, I think 60% still on Sunday just a couple of days ago. That things really changed here in the last couple of days.
Yeah, so just sometimes how it goes. It decided, hey, I don't know, maybe it didn't like Central Illinois, wanted to move. But certainly that low now carrying on through. The center of the low is in northwest Illinois towards the Quad Cities. We're close enough where, big swirls make little swirls and little swirls make mini swirls type of thing. So sometimes we can keep an eye on it. Okay, got a message about Chatsworth and Piper City, and I know my friend Bruce up there in that area is probably watching as well. Very interested still on this storm. They're watching it. No indication of a tornado, but production, we are a phone call away from jumping back on TV if need be at this point. That little storm, it looks impressive on radar. It's not a huge, big-time severe storm, but still, it's one that we'll have to watch and monitor closely. And it's kind of lifting east, a little northeast there. Piper City's here. You've got 116, 115 intersection there east of Cullum, and then 116 takes you east towards Ashcombe. We'll watch Gilman, Danforth, Ashcombe, up towards Clifton, Chabannes, and into northern Iroquois County. The storm about to exit Livingston County, so that's one that we'll continue to watch. Still some indications of weak rotation at the surface, but the National Weather Service saying they don't think yet there's an imminent chance of a touchdown, but they're going to watch it closely. The moment they do think that, they'll issue a tornado warning, and that has not happened. It may not happen, but it's still something that we're going to watch and keep closely. Let's talk about some of these general storms here. More areas of heavy rain and perhaps a little hail embedded from Fairbury towards the Lexington area. That's moving east towards Cooksville, Colfax, Cropsey, towards the Cropsey, towards Sibley and Forest. More here. We'll watch this little cell on the northeast side of Bloomington. It's a little bitty kidney bean. I'm not too worried at this point, but that'd be a Myrna Fletcher issue in the next 15 minutes if something happened. What's happening here is we had a big mass of rain over in Woodford County. This big mass of rain started to finally move to the east. They got 4 or 5 inches in places like Washington and Eureka. That storm finally is moving, but it kicked off an outflow boundary. And these storms are on that outflow boundary. And when you see a storm in an outflow boundary, Seth, you know to watch out. You got to just keep a close eye on it and see what it's doing. These storms are not classic big-time storms, but they're still enough there where sometimes they can pick up a little rotation and give us a little problem on a Saturday afternoon. More of those little cells are continuing off to the south and then towards Tazewell County and out of our area. We'll watch these as well. This is the Sangamon River here. There's Petersburg, Virginia. That's going to be Cass, Menard County. This will be up here in Mason County. In those areas, we'll continue to watch them moving slowly overall to the east. And so that's something that we'll continue to keep a close eye on here for a little bit. Really, I think at this point, if something does decide to get a little out of hand, it would be this cell now in the panhandle of Ford County up north. And that's the big panhandle, not the thumb off to the east of Paxton. We're talking north of Piper City. So far, Piper City, Chatsworth now look good. We'll watch these other storms building back in. Had a message about Fairbury, where this quote was getting a little bit hammered by the rain there. Got a report now on power outage in the Gibson City area. And sometimes that happens with these. This is you get these storms to the north, it gets a transmission line somewhere. So I'll be interested as well if anyone's got any reports of power outages or anything like that. It's something we'll continue to keep a close eye on. What I'm going to do here is I want to check and see if there's any hail with these storms. And it'll take a second. There we go. Sometimes it takes a second for that data to populate. But you see here, overall, not much. There might be some small hail north of Colfax, a little bit of small hail north of Piper City. There could be some pea hail and some little bit here and there. But about all we're seeing here is under severe limits. Now, severe hail, when you start to get damage, is defined at 1 inch hail in diameter or greater. The radar indicating at this point that we will continue to monitor things and keep a close eye on. Hey, Seth, can you do me a favor and go to the back door real quick? I got to just head to the back door and open that for me. Cool. And make sure Seth's mic's off as well. You just get a little bit of hail here and there. Continue to monitor things and keep a close eye on. Not much. Now, I backed this up a few hours. You'll see earlier some of these bright colors that were over towards the east side of Peoria. Over there, they had golf ball and hen egg-sized hail in the Washington area. Okay, it looks like power's back on in Gibson. Maybe it just went off briefly there from what we can tell. But the storm there now, the hail threat looks pretty low. Let's check out the wind shear as well. This is just sometimes a way to get another view and see if there's any sort of turbulence in the atmosphere. And we may have to wait for that graphic to pop up. Let me see if there we go. It's starting to populate on in. Slowly loading. You see it trying to pick back up with the data. Not picking up much at this point. lightning-wise, that's just another thing we'd like to see. See all those lightning bolts that are in there? There's been quite a bit of lightning in the last 6 hours in the Livingston County area, Fairbury as well. And we think a lot of that lightning has been, a lot of that lightning still now here ongoing in the Fairbury area east of Pontiac and places like that. So we'll continue to monitor and keep a close eye on that. Okay, real quick, let me just check the warnings. There's that flash flood warning, and that's for the US 24 corridor from El Paso to Peoria. Washington, Eureka, there have been 4 or 5 inches of rain over there. They've gotten some rain. Look at the six-hour rainfall totals here from this afternoon. See that swath there, the orange color. You start getting orange, you're talking 3, 4 inches of rain. And we've had some reports of 4-inch rainfall reports in that area as well. So certainly there's been some heavy rain. Blues under 1 inch, greens, yellows, you start getting 1 inch or a little more than that. 2 inches in the yellow, orange, and higher than that. So there's been some good rain in parts of Livingston, northern McLean County, and places like that, but still a lot of dry spots here across the region. We do have the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect. That severe thunderstorm watch goes until 9 o'clock. So about 9, 10 o'clock, we should be seeing that severe threat wind down. Maybe even a little earlier for some of us. So we think at this point, once this initial line gets on through, we'll start to clear some counties. That line, though, still just on the edge of our area. And at this point, most of those spots are showing signs that they're more outflow driven, ahead of the outflow boundary. But where we're not is that northern Ford County, where we're watching closely, Livingston, McLean County areas. At this point, we'll just keep an eye on. Seth, you seeing much? What are they saying up there?
Not a whole lot. They're still trying to keep an eye on some rotations still out there near Chatsworth and Piper City, but again, not a whole lot as far as just further development from what we've just seen earlier. I mean, we keep seeing just a little bit of weak rotation, but no updates as far as anything progressing with that. And again, just dealing with a few storms right now. Looks like we're going to start to get a little busier down there in the southwest too, as it looks like a few storms start to roll into the Lincoln area as well. So
yeah, and maybe a couple trying to pop up near Jacksonville. There's a little bit trying to pop up down near Vandalia, but it's not much. There might be some sprinkles in the Effingham area. We don't have any concerns down there. There's that thundercloud report which prompted that tornado warning. That was north of Lexington at about 4:45. We were on for a whole, 4 minutes? 14 minutes? Yep. 10 minutes? 2? It was pretty quick. Come and go with this type of situation. And that's what the way these storms are working here for this particular batch of storms. Sometimes we get those severe weather events where a storm will rotate across the entire viewing area. These particular storms tend to pulse up and down. They don't tend to stick around for a long time. They'll go up, they'll come down, they'll move through, and it may even look like a little bit with that storm up there in the northern Ford County. It may continue to show some signs of, it's looking a bit weaker now. It's not totally gone. Well, that's a positive sign from all I can see that maybe that rotation pulsed down a little bit in the northern Ford County. It's continuing to take that left turn. We need to see storms take a right turn, and when they do that, that's when we become a little worried for some severe weather and that tornado potential overall. So we're going to watch and keep a close eye on that for a little bit longer here, but I think what we're going to do, Seth, is we are going to wrap up here real quick. Sometimes it's like, okay, should we stick with it? And the moment sometimes we cut away, it's like, oh, is it weekend? Does it do? That's how it goes, right, Seth?
exactly. Yep. That just has a way of knowing each and every time.
We got a show at 6 o'clock. Seth's going to do the forecast here. I'm just here behind the scenes helping with severe weather. But if there's an imminent tornado warning or something of that, we'll jump back in. I don't have anything that really concerns me at this point, but we'll be here. We're watching. We'll end our digital coverage here for a little bit. You'll see some folks are saying, I haven't gotten a drop of rain yet. It's coming. We've had more rainstorms that have built to the south and west here. We're going to watch all of those and keep a close eye. You can see at the corner of the screen here. See that swarm? That's the low pressure. And so we've got some instability overhead. We've got a little bit of wind shear, and that's allowing for some of these storms just to try and, get mischievous a little bit. And so we'll keep an eye on those for the next little bit. That's what we got for you here on this Saturday afternoon. It's 5:22. We're going to wrap up our digital coverage and just kind of hang out, watch. If there's no need for an update until 6, great. That'll be on TV with Seth. If there's no update the rest of the night, that's great too, but we're going to keep you updated and keep you advised with the chance for some of these storms. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey with
Seth Bohnhoff.
We've got you covered. We'll keep you advised and update you if there's any changes. Thanks for watching.